It was easy though.
Really?
It never crossed my mind anything else. And I'm sure Jason was the same way. I think a race car driver is probably a different type of athlete than a basketball
In
player
what
or
way?
football player. This is a different type of sport. You know that you're driving a race car. It's a lot different. You're not on your feet. It's a mental sport. It's probably more mental than it is physical, in my eyes. But you got to know what you're doing, and I just think it takes that time commitment. It takes that will to really want to do it. It's harder to be here than it is to get here, in my eyes.
So to stay.
To stay and to beat the best race car drivers in the world is harder than anything.
And why is that? What have you figured out about it? Or at what point did you make that realization even?
I think when I started cup racing. In my career, everything's come pretty easy. I'd win a lot of races, and it's just bam, win a race here, win a race there. And as soon as I started in that series, because I wasn't racing against the best race car drivers in the world. Now that I am, now I'm racing against all those kids that were growing up, winning every single thing they did. But now we're all together, and now we're all racing against each other. And that's when you got to find that little bit more, and it's hard to find it. You don't know where it's at. I mean, I first started in the Cup Series, and I struggled hard.
Joey Logano. Big crash.
And was like, holy smokes, what did I get myself into? What am I doing? And didn't realize that. I mean, I was expecting to go in there and win races just like I did everywhere else. I didn't think it was gonna be a big deal. And then you come to realize it's a reality check.
Jason, did you have that crossroad too? Was there that moment where you said, okay, I envision it being this way, but here's the reality, and I'm gonna have to make some adjustments?
Sure, it's been that way for the last 10 years. Once you get to the NASCAR, once you get to one of the top tier series in NASCAR, it's very, very competitive. But Joey is right. I mean, the Sprint Cup Series is so competitive. You have the best of the best. Nationwide Series is competitive, and Truck Series also. But when you take that step to the elite, there's not a bad driver that races on Sunday in the Sprint Cup Series. And the thing about it is, when your car's slow or if you're off the pace, you're not talking about a second. You're talking about a half a tenth or a tenth of a second can be the difference between 40th and 10th or 10th in the lead. So it's just minute, little tiny things, and everything's got to work so well together. But yeah, I mean, when you get to this level, it humbles you.
What makes one faster? Is it the vehicle? Is it the driving technique? Is it the mechanics who are working? What is that formula?
All
It's a
that,
team.
yeah.
All of it.
All of it.
I mean, you can put a great race car driver in a not very good car, and you're not going to see it go very fast. And you can put a great car and put a driver that's so-so, and it's not going to go very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys that are out there winning have a combination of both that really, really works good together.
Jason, do you think fans have a really good grasp that this is a team sport?
Well, I think NASCAR fans are pretty well educated in NASCAR. They know it's a team sport. They might not know, they know you have a pit crew. You have a crew chief and mechanics. They might not know, they probably don't know what goes on during the week at the race shop, all the fabricators and engineers and everything, bodymen, everything that goes on. But I think they're very well educated. But there are some fans out there that, that just go, man, why aren't you winning? It's easy. You should have a faster car than that. They don't understand.
What do you say to people when they say that or ask?
Yeah, it's tougher than it looks. You're not getting in your car and going to the grocery store. It's a competitive, professional sport.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you to pick up on something that Joey was saying. It's hard getting there, but it's even harder maintaining, staying in the race, so to speak.
I agree.
What are the dynamics?
Just you get to this level and everybody wants your job. Everybody. So it's pretty cutthroat when you get here. Like Joey, I had early on success. Whatever I drove, I seemed to, I ran good and won and got here, and it was a reality check. It's tough to stay here. You got to keep your sponsors happy. You got to perform, but it's more than just you and your race car, like we said earlier. I mean, you do a lot of talking at the shop, a lot of communicating, and instead of back in the day, you just do a lot of working on your race car.
Nobody's ever satisfied.
No.